We are recording live from Arlington, Vermont. I am Happy Valley Hobbies, and these are hobbies that make me happy. Had a slight technical hiccup before getting on here. Hello there, Carly, Carly Express, or I should say Dwight. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your patience for uh, waiting me for getting on for being about 4 minutes late. Uh, but all right, now that we got everything working properly, uh, well, I may or may not be employed. Um, Last week I took a uh, writing down jobs and all that, and sort of like any port in a storm, I put down. There's going to be in Bennington, which is about 15 miles away. There's a going to be a new jalopy restaurant coming in. So I threw my hat in the ring in there. They called me back, and the thing is that apparently there's been technical difficulties throughout the whole entire process. It was supposed to be like a WebEx interview, uh, and the thing is, I was in Bennington when they, because I had a appointment at the Vermont Department of Labor, to help me with resume and all that stuff and all that. So I wasn't able to get all the way home, which was about 15 minutes away, before having to have the WebEx thing. Hello there, Dan. Thank you for coming in. And what had happened is that it was supposed to be over WebEx, and so I'm on my car trying to figure out, when you're in the car, you're not supposed to be looking at your phone and all that. So there's no place for me to put the phone to have a job interview. But that wasn't the issue. Apparently, the guy who was interviewing me, his phone had overheated, and he had to use a I guess a dumb phone or something else where he had to actually, call me through a line. We had to do it auditory only. And things went well, and said, "All right, well, we'll start we'll start the hiring process, and making sure you have your two things of identification so we can photocopy it and all that stuff, and um, you'll be sent an email and follow the instructions on the email." And I was supposed to get it, within 24 hours. So the interview was on Wednesday. I was supposed to get the email Thursday. As of this time, I still have not gotten the email. And I guess the first issue is that somehow I put in two email addresses. However, it's not sending the information to either email address. It's one of those things of it's not going to my Gmail account or my Yahoo account, which has the same beginning. So, hello there, hey there, Wigwag. Thank you for coming in. And so we're, the guy I got who interviewed me is trying to straighten that all out. He did give me their IT number to see about getting things straightened out, and of course when I call it up, it says it's like, oh, there's one of the ways that we can verify is taking longer to it's taking longer than expect to do so. So I'm like going like, all right, whatever, and when you're going through all the options, I hit option one, which I guess is for regular employees, not new ones. It says for new ones you have to get the email. We can't reset it. We can't reset that for you. So I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. And with the section option, it was like there's no direct way to to do what needed to be done. Uh, and of course, because it's an automated system, there's no way to hit operator and get a live person for them to point me in the right direction. So technically, I have a job, but right now I'm still trying to actually get a hold of someone where I can actually go, hey, yes, here I am. And the thing is that I might have uh, what's opening right next door is Starbucks, so I threw my hat, my ring in there. But at the time, I didn't know if I was actually going to have a job with Chipotle, so it's one of those things. I went with called the one that was in the store that was in Manchester, which is closer than the one in Bennington. But if I get Jalopy, it might be more advantageous to see if I can get a job at Starbucks right next door to Jalopy, instead of going to the one that's in there. Well, hello there, Zoe. Thank you for coming in. One of the things that I sort of do something very similar to what Anthony Dodds, the train outsider, does, which is basically, well, he does it to everybody. I do it for people that I recognize their name and have interacted with, and that is make them a moderator. That's why there's a lot of blue, and I just made you a moderator also. It's so you could actually see other people's. It's a lot easier to go into other people's uh, channels, because if you don't have that little wrench there, you can only the only option you can do is block. But if you have the little blue wrench there, you can actually go to you can go to other people's channels by just clicking on it. So thank you for coming aboard, Zoe. I'm assuming that's how it's said. I'm going to assume Zerato, if I'm saying that correctly, is a version of your name. But well, all right. Well, let's see about switching cameras. That's one thing about I wish they would do with StreamYard, is make it a lot easier to change cameras. All right, and there's the overhead view. All right. Now it looks like pretty much the last thing I'm going to be doing is basically soldering everything so everything has power to it. Alright. Some things are going to have to do out of screenshot, and because things are just out of screenshot. Let's move the selector plate over here. And basically I have all the track is finished. I just got to turn around and actually add feeders to everything, and then I'll be technically done with the track. there. The name of the layout is Pointless. It's basically an Inglenook layout that is set up to as an Inglenook. So there's the siding has capacity for 3 cars, and then the main line has is able to have up to 8 cars. Now, also seeing about trying to get my golden spike through the golden NMRA golden spike with this, and that requires 3 types of track. So I got dual gauge track here, a gauntlet switch, and a selector plate, and I'm hoping that's able to have the what the golden spike is for different types of track. Now, for people who are eagle-eyed, you'll notice that this is a Stanton Drive from Northwest Shortline, and it's standard gauge. And you notice, you would know, eagle-eyed viewers notice that it's dual gauge, but it's the standard gauge that is the narrower of the gauges. And because this is HOW6, basically 6-foot gauge. So that's why if I put this here, it doesn't fit, because this right here is 6-foot gauge, but this is a gauntlet track. As you see, there's no points, and basically the selector plate, which is this, goes all the way to that. Yeah, let's see. Let's switch this way, and this is the pivot point. The selector plate also has standard gauge. Right now this is modeling 1876, and at that time, a lot of the broad gauge railways were in the process of either being completely going to the standard gauge, or in the process of. The way I'm setting this up is that all the main lines had been converted to dual gauge, but the sidings haven't gotten that way. So in the future, the lore of this is that this would what had happened here is that there's going to be like a small mountain here. So of course, they turned around, they blasted away at this. But then when they put this in, which was a single track, they blasted this away for enough that, for one line to go through. And then when they decided to add a second line, instead of blasting away for 2 lines, or even make it so there's a switch here, since everything here was so narrow, they just made this as a gauntlet track and put the switchboard a lot farther down, and so they wouldn't have to turn around and expand this. It was enough to that they had to turn around and uh, blast it for the single one. But then when they did the second line, it was he just did the gauntlet track, and then in the quote unquote future, uh, since it's a narrower track, they're able to put a uh, normal switch point in here, and they didn't have to have the galley track when everything was standard gauged, or at least that's what the lore is. Yay! Congratulations, rail artists. So let's get this thing a little bit slightly more organized to start adding. Yes, start adding wires. Now, one of the things that we're supposed to be able to do is control two different locomotives on the same layout, and that's the reason why I went with the. That's one of the reasons why I went with the dual gauge, because I only have to convert one locomotive to 6-foot gauge to be able to run two separate trains. And that's what probably after tonight, that's probably I'll transition to, is to either take this engine or this engine and convert them to broad gauge. One of the things I have to figure out how to do is make axles, because the axles have to be wider. Have to be wider. On the locomotives are going to be easy because they're blunt end. However, ones that are going to be under trucks and all that, they have the pointed axles. So that's going to be a slight challenge. I do have a lathe that I recently have bought. I haven't used it yet, but that's probably how I'll turn around and make the axles. But again, I got to actually do some math and figure out exactly how much, how longer there have to be. Figure out the angles of what things are, and go from there. All right. I know I have more wire around here. I had thought I had set it up, but apparently I did not. All right. There, now I got plenty of wire. Okay. Ow. We got plenty of wire. Now, let's see, for this, we'll go with these three. Now, I believe this is, I want to say, former telephone cable wire. It's all the fun colors. All right, let's see. What were the ones that I had before? We'll use these three. Excuse me, for the selector plate. Hello there, rail artist. So how far, so you're ready to, all right, so on the 4th, are you going to actually be, I want to say officially in the new location, although you haven't fully moved out, but starts. I want to say like start sleeping and all that fun stuff. At the new location. All right, so that's for that section. Probably go with the green as the common. Turn it on. Let me see. I actually need to plug in the solder iron. Yeah, that's one of the things I found out when I was doing the track work that I had forgotten. Turned off the soldering iron. Thankfully, I have the soldering iron inside the soldering iron holder, but let's turn it on. Yeah, barely see the little lights on there. I'll be right back. I'm going to throw some water into the sponge. Okay. Thing is, now I didn't drench the thing, so there's a couple of dry spots, but that's okay. All right, so that's going to be for that. I already got the. Basically, this is the main line is already has feeders on it. So now I gotta see about putting feeders on the siding. Now, let's see. Actually, let's go. Yeah, let's go this way. We'll go this way with. We'll go this way with the. This electric plate, because the way this is set up, it might be more advantageous to put the power pack or control station down on that end. So let's think this through a little bit. All right, we'll go the short ones with this. Now go short ways with this. And then for these long ones, technically might not be long enough, but ooh. All right, if we're going to do this way, we're going to need 4 long ones. So we're going to need another long one of these. Let's see about doing that one. Ooh, yeah. Question is, how do we do this? No. color coding is not going to be the greatest. I apologize for everyone. I did not fully think this through. So that's why I'm fumbling a little bit tonight. What we'll do here, use the green one for the outside since it's the darkest of everything. And let's see, we're gonna have to use a all right, let me grab a pair of pliers. Let's sort of see about manipulating this to and that goes that way. And then grab it here. Bend it that way. Let's see how that looks. Slip it across there. All right, let's see. Looks like it's pretty. That looks like it needs to be maneuvered a little bit. I'm trying to get everything in the camera here, but I may be failing very miserably at it. All right, let's try moving it that way and see what happens. All right. All right. Let's see. All right, that looks like it'll work that way. It's all nice and hidden. And we'll do the same thing for the other side, which is yellow. Move that this way. It has like a I'm not quite sure if you can actually see this, but I have it so it's a 9-degree turn down and then uh, then sideways. So the way it looks like you got uh, be like sort of this coming down and then have a riser coming up like this and then going on the rail like that. So it's a very three-dimensional turns, I guess. But I am thinking I might have gone the wrong direction. Yeah, I should go 180 degrees the other way. I don't know. Why do I feel like I'm starting to feel like it's the. Oop, that did not go the way I want it to go. All right, let's see. So this way, yeah, I want to go straight up. Straighten this out. I want to go straight up. And then from there, bend it towards me. All right. So now we got that one through. All right. Let's, if we go any further, let's say we solder these in. All right. Oops. Soldering paste. All right. Now, what did I do with the solder? Shows you how it shows you how long I've had this. Yeah, sorry for the well, I would say sorry for the confusion, but unfortunately, there's no standardization. It's like with the narrow gauge. It has the small end, and that's part of the. That's part of the nomenclature. For broad gauge, there is no standardized lettering for that. The reason why I went with the W. Oh, by the way, thank you for coming in. One stale skill, yeah, 187th is because of I saw a forum where they were talking about proto 48, which is O scale, and OW5, which is O gauge, and the sort of the the debate on that for eons. Okay, let's see if we can manipulate this around. So, and that's why I went with the W, which is for Y gauge, instead of the B for. All right, this needs to go this way. Try to do this without burning myself. All right. Put this over here so I can actually get this. I almost need like surgical hands on this, trying to get this positioned in the right direction. But yeah, I have a feeling when people start seeing this in person, they'll be going like, "Oh, it's S gauge." It's like, no, it's a millimeter narrower than S gauge. It's sort of like how SN3 is not quite HO scale. Time to play lefty. Unfortunately, I wound up leaving almost burned down my apartment by leaving the tip on. Not necessarily, it wasn't overnight, but it was sort of like the whole day because I didn't realize that So I need to see about getting a new tip for this. Not quite sure where to find a new tip. Let's throw some flux on there. Looks like that. Soldered nicely. And we'll do the same thing with the other two. So who knows who's on Sidetrack Sunday tonight? Unfortunately, they keep on Well, lately they've been changing a lot, so it's a little bit hard to keep up on who is who, what's what, and all that fun stuff. All right, so let's. All right, first bend would be up. Next bend will be down to the left. All right. Oh, that's right. This is the fifth Sunday, and DB Tech is doing that. That's why I got confused. It's like I forgot that it was the fifth Sunday. So the time would be nice to have literally a fifth hand. So some might have been smarter going the other direction. Of course, the other last one decides to go take a dive off the take a dive off everything. All right, now last one. Straight this way. Up. Sideways. We'll go this way. Again, I need 5 hands. Make this a little bit easier to tin this first. Here we go. Now it's tinned. So don't drop everything. Let that cool off. Now switch over to this side. Looks like we're using orange one is the longest of this bunch here, I think. It's relatively close to which one's the longest. Yeah, we'll use the orange for the longest, which is going to be our ground. A little on there, a little on there. The challenge is that the heat or heat might mess up the super glue. Looks like the super glue might be causing issues with the soldering. So this might be a little bit more of a challenge than what was originally anticipated. That's exactly what's happening. All right. Just got to be extra careful with the heat and how to keep the track gauge engaged. So, well, that's good to know. All right. Looks like it's probably time to switch around. There's a good chance I'll finish the soldering. Off screen and all that. Yeah, the reason why I didn't show up the, how I did the track and everything was because I was trying. The local NMRA division was having their last. All right, see you later, 187. Was to basically get the basically get the track done, show it off, and ask questions like how to properly get the selector plate working and all that fun stuff. But because of possible rain and everything, it was canceled. All right. Well, even though 187th is not here, he he is now a moderator. And apparently he's in the processing and seeing on how cool narrow gauge is. Hopefully I can do the same thing with broad gauge. So let's go back to here. Go there. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up the wiring off screen. Or yeah, well, not live. How's that? And I guess we're all heading over to DB Tech. So yeah, well, I believe the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye, everyone.